Once again, I'm back, and I'm back with the man, Bishop Scott, because I just happened to meet him in person the other day. Had a lot of things going. We're gonna talk about it today.
Good evening. Good evening, Bernard.
How you doing, sir?
How you
Doing
doing?
okay today?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Yeah.
Still remembering our
I
time.
guess you're happy to see me again, huh?
Yes, I am. But I was happy to see you
Last
in
time I was
person.
in person.
Yeah, it was in person. That's right.
Yeah, I was in Philadelphia.
City of
30
brotherly
minutes.
love.
30 minutes. And it was a brotherly love instant while I was there. Had a lot of things going. I was supposed to be there at 5 o'clock that day and got stuck in New York and had to pay $85 to get a boot off the car and all that other stuff. But then I still got a parking ticket they gave me $115 for. So a lot of things went down, but I got to meet Miles at the time, and she was great, Queen Miles, and she gave me great direction. So shout out to her for helping me find my way out of the maze. However, I will say some things I did discover in New York. I found out that people were not very friendly to me, especially asking for directions. Had a sister ask for some directions, she wouldn't give me. That's right, brother. That's right. She wouldn't give me directions. I said, "Okay, can I get directions to the subway?" They walked off on me. The agents out there were not very friendly. They didn't want to give directions, so I had to cut on my navigation system, and then I had to cut it on the walk 11 minutes to go to the tow yard, and I had to pay them $150. They didn't care whether he was out of town or not. I had pocket in the car, so it was actually a $115 ticket. So I spent $300 on some things that I shouldn't have, but I couldn't find. Another thing about this big city like New York and Chicago, it's very hard to find parking places. But normally when I go to somebody's city, I usually don't drive. I usually fly, or if I park, I usually have them do what they call they usually drive me around, so I won't have to do that. But nevertheless, if I would have known, I would have parked the car somewhere in Jersey and kept the train in New York, and I probably would have been fine, and I wouldn't have to pay that. But it is what it is. I learned it very quickly. I got out about 6 o'clock, and then I came to meet you.
And wait a minute, Bernard. I gotta let me come back in. Something wrong with my hold it.
Okay. So yeah, it's very interesting. Okay. So
my sister tried to call me and knock me off my mic. I'm sorry.
So what happened was we went to I said, if I can get out here by 6 o'clock, I'm coming to see you if I can, because that was the plan, and so I couldn't make it an hour, maybe an hour and a half. But when you say you're gonna do something, and even though I was knocked off completely off course, I did not plan this. I still was able to get back home by 1:30, give or take, that night. So still was able to come and get these like I planned, because I didn't know. I had to figure out whether I could get home first. But I said, once I got out at 6 o'clock, I said I could make it to Philadelphia, because I ain't number 2 hours from it.
So, but you made it. Got
on the highway. We had a very productive time during that short period of time. We did a video, and it was very nice. And thanks for the good things you said about me. And I think that you got me a nice salad to go home with. So, but that was pretty cool. But I didn't like when I rode through the neighborhood. I saw all the trash on neighborhoods, on the streets. I didn't like I saw that Caribbean market there. I didn't see anything else there. And it's just as bad as New York when I saw all the trash piled up on the streets. And especially this was more so in business districts in New York, because I went around no houses, and then that was a business district that's showing that. So that's even worse if you really think about it. So that's even worse. But nevertheless,
it seems like these democratic cities are problematic. You know, they talk about how much they want to help and how much that they are friends of the Black community. But just like you said, Bernard, every place you go, whether it's Baltimore, Chicago, Detroit, Philadelphia, Los Angeles, or New York, every time you go to one of these cities that are run predominantly by Democrats, you find this kind of carelessness in the community that nobody really comes and really helps and really makes a change. Just like you said before, all the businesses that you saw on my street, only one was even Black owned, and they weren't even African American. They were Caribbean. It's a Jamaican store. So, you know, and that's the only store on our whole block. And you see how long this block is. It's not a short block. And yet with all the stores there, there's only one that actually is Black owned and Black patronized, and that's that Jamaican store that we have on the street. And that's a travesty. You know, they come in, they get rich, they leave, and they go back to their community with our money. And many of them have attitudes. I mean, you go into these stores and they don't want to serve you. They watch you as you go through the store. They're watching every move you make. Sometimes they speak in their language so you can't understand them as they're talking about you. This is what we go through every day, and yet we patronize these people, and we just don't have a sense of community enough to build our own and establish our own businesses. When I was growing up in the 50s and 60s, everything that we had was in our community. We had a barbershop, a church, our beauty salons, our fish markets. I mean, our dentist, our doctor, they were all part of our community. And now we have to go to somebody else's community to get any services. And those that are in our community are not a part of us. So they don't have an affinity for us. They have no empathy for us. And they
let me make a comment right here.
And leave.
Let me make a comment right here. This man Pioneer saying, man, when you get out of Manhattan, it's so dirty, it's a joke. Back in the 90s, they were collecting trash every day, and it was still. Yes, you know the funny part, I was actually in Manhattan because that's where I was at, but they didn't. Where the tow yard was that I had to go all the way to Brooklyn.
Okay.
And what's Brooklyn, Bronx? It was 36 minutes away in a car, but actually an Uber would have cost me $40. I had to catch Subway, so I spent $9 in Subway tickets to get there. But that's either here or there. But I'm just letting you know that I wasn't really, fused with the Subway, but I figured it out and got there and got back. And I was gone. But I'm gonna say this: if I would have thought about it, I should have came to Philadelphia first and went to New York last. And that way, it would have left people on the street, and I would have left New York at 7, 8 o'clock. I would have left New York at 7 or 8 o'clock at night, and then came back home. And when I could avoid the troubles I had. But you live and you learn. It's a learning experience. I don't think I give myself credit for is I was able to, when the chips were down and I had all that pressure, because I could have just said, man, I got to get back home. I got to get the plane. I got to do anything. I said, you know what? I'm going to figure it out and get out this place together. I had to do it with hardly no, except for Miss Miles' directions. And it's funny that Miss Miles and you were two of the people on my show that actually, we've actually been labeled as the bad guys, I guess, and getting banned or getting suspended or whatever, twice. But it is what it is. But nevertheless, I say it was a fun experience. Now that I'm back home, I think I'm supposed to go to Baltimore tomorrow, but that's either here or there. It's another Democrat. As I went up and down the East Coast, I see the gas goes to $3.71 as you go north. And then in New York, it coincides with going to $4.
Yeah.
So I thank all of you for helping out. And like I said, I didn't get to see you anymore. I did get to get it this time. So that I've been planning to do it for a long time, and the COVID knocked me off. I done been around the world and but came back around and circled back to Philadelphia. Now, with that being said, the current political landscape is first of all, let me start Black History Month first. This so-called Black History Month, because actually it's almost over. And I always ask the question, how do you have Black History Month when you got all this other stuff going on? You got All-Star game. You got the Super Bowl or the Super Bowl, one the other one you want to call it. And that one was some ritualistic stuff right there. We had man say love you, smile, man. You makes you feel at home even on the internet. Okay. But look at this. We're gonna say that when I was I looked at this thing from a distance and I said to myself, we started off talking about the Holocaust at the beginning of the month with Whoopi. We went with. Then we got a coach. I'm gonna talk about that too in a minute. No, thank you, Monel, sir. But when you look at everything that's going on, and you really look at it from a standpoint, nobody really paying attention to what's going on, because if you did, and you saw, like I said, this coach said that he was discriminated against by what was he saying? He's saying that there's lack of head coach, but then he took a job as an assistant with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm like, well, why did you take the job? You got a lawsuit trying to be a head coach. So he's saying that they didn't give him a fair opportunity. Now, all jokes aside, I had to look at it from two standpoints. One, it is a lack of black head coach in the NFL, but two, you only got 32 teams. And in a context, you have to look at it like this. With everything that's going on out here in the world, am I going to really waste that much time talking about a guy who, is crying about a head coaching job when you got thousands upon people suffering out here? And we're going to talk about you not having a foot. You still got money, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So maybe if you give some of that money back, it help you. And then I realized something. Is he a black? I know he got a Latino wife or something. Or he got a white wife. I did see that. But his last name is Flores. Now, come to think about it. So I just thought of it. It is Flores, ain't it? So that could be right. But I do know that I looked at all the stuff that's going on. I'm like, like, wait a minute now. But you don't sign a deal as an assistant coach. You're trying to be a head coach. But he's saying that they paid him to lose games or whatever. But I'm just like, what's the point of really even wasting my time talking about Black History Month? So we talk about, we talk about another country. I mean, not another country. He's talking about he's from Panama, Colombia, one of them. We spend time talking about issues like this. Like I would say you something I saw today out here. I was at this gas station. A lot of people were at the gas station, right? I said, well, I asked the guy, what is going on? He said, oh, we're trying to get gas before the gas goes up. I'm like, he said, they kicked off the war in Ukraine or whatever today, right?
Mm-hmm.
I said, no. I said, what's going on though? He said, well, they about these trying to get. And guess what Biden was talking about? He told, well, actually, you told me. I read it too. But what you didn't say, Bishop, was that he actually called on 4 oil companies to release oil reserves. So if he called on foreign countries to do that, that also means that really what he's saying in a bunch of crap, not to increase price, but that means they probably are. Because they are. Give you oil. So it wouldn't be price. He really told them not to do it, but really in essence, he actually is doing it indirectly.
Yeah, I listened to him today, and he said, it's like you said, he's already said, we're going to tighten up the belt. The oil's going to increase by a lot, but we have to make the sacrifice. As always, we have to make the sacrifice. These politicians, they don't have to worry about cars, and they don't have to worry about gas, and they don't have to worry about this, and they don't have to worry about that. All of them are multimillionaires. They have chauffeurs. They have cars that the government pays for every drop of gas that's in those cars. You think the president pays for his gas, the vice president, the senators, the congressmen? You think they worry about gas? Of course not. Hi, Monique. How you doing?
Monique 2C. I have not talked to you in a while. I will be contacting you soon to talk about my wonderful experience in New York City. In case you go back and missed it, you go ahead and rewind back to the top. And I had a bad experience. Well, it was a great experience, but then it was a bad experience. I call you and talk about it. Don't worry about it. How you been doing, by the way? But nevertheless, as a matter of fact, man, you have to take me a trip down to. Hey, look, I'm tired of these high gas prices down south. I mean, down up north. I might have to take me a trip down south to Oklahoma or somewhere out there where she at. Because this stuff down here is crazy, right? And she can show me all about Oklahoma and Idaho and everything else, right? I'm just messing with it, but you know,
you know, I mean, it's easy for people that have to tell us what we have to sacrifice. You know, I mean, they're talking about possibly in some way or another. I'm not ruling out that we won't get into this Ukraine Russian conflict. I wouldn't be surprised that eventually we're drawn into it, and particularly if they attack some of the NATO nations around the world. They attack Poland or Lithuania or some of the other countries that are part of the NATO family. I wouldn't be surprised if we're drawn into it little by little. You know, many of the major wars we've always been in has been propagated by the Democrats.
Let me say something else right here.
World War I.
Let me say something else.
Franklin Roosevelt, World War II.
Let me say something to it right quick. Well, look, Monique to see it wasn't all bad because I still was able to get my car, the boot off my car by 6 o'clock, and I still got to Philadelphia to hang out with the bishop for at least 30 minutes. So it wasn't all bad. I just had some setbacks.
That's all.
So I had some setbacks. That's all it was. Now I want to talk about this thing because you got to understand Biden has indictments from the Ukraine, and his son does as well. So common sense will tell you sooner or later they're gonna get involved because I got to cover my tracks too. Remember they got indictments from Ukraine for what they did in 2014 with that coup in Ukraine they pulled.
Oh yeah,
when Obama was in office. Okay, so remember they still got some things going on here. Now they're gonna gaslight you and tell you that cyber attacks are coming. And Russia is doing the cyber attack. No, wait a minute. I thought about this today. I was in the gym. I was actually in the hot tub, and I was just thinking to myself, you know, call me crazy, but why would Putin tell the U.S. government that I'm going to impose cyber attacks? Common sense would tell me you're going to blame it on Putin, but you're really doing the cyber attacks because the World Economic Forum actually been talking about cyber warfare. You can go on the World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab, and they tell you this. Great Reset. They actually got a website for this stuff where they tell you basically what they did. Matter of fact, they're going to have that conference. The World Economic Forum is going to have that conference in May. I think it's May 22nd through the 26th in Davos, Switzerland. Oh, yeah, they're going to have a little, get together, to discuss their plans on how to rule the world. If you listen to Biden, they're talking about putting sanctions on banks, able to freeze your assets, right? Now, just for the record, well, the southern border, that's all but gone, brother. See, Lucius Gaines, you can just forget that. He ain't fixing that. But look, check this out. If you look at this conflict, oh yeah, that power grid, that could be something. They've been actually talking about this, but they also talking about digital currency. Now I was just watching a video today, and they were talking about digital currency. This could be started about digital currency. Talking about a digital ID. We want to make sure we know who you are, where you are, to protect you. You're not trying to do that. All you gotta do is look at the movie Big Brother. It's common sense of what they're trying to do. They're not lying. Yes, people are panicking. The banks are slamming. People trying to pull their money out. Yes, that's right. Okay, now I'm gonna have to go use money out of the bank too. The Klaus Schwab. And let's talk about something else, because I want to bring up something. This is how the media creates panic in people. But I want to say everything is a test run. We saw what happened in Canada with the convoy, the truckers convoy. And we saw those seize bank accounts. So if you saw what they did by seizing bank accounts if you saw what they did in Canada by seizing people's bank accounts in trying to he got knocked off again. I don't know what's going on with that. But well, it ain't going when they telling you it's going back to normal now, but it ain't going back to normal. I know what you're saying. What you're saying is exactly true, brother. Yeah, what's going on, man?
People keep on calling me. I don't know what it is. And as soon as they call me, I can't hear. The mic goes off. So I had to come back on. I'm sorry, but all right, I'm sorry to you.
Well, we're talking about what's going on in Canada.
Oh, yeah.
We put a state of emergency. But they will also freeze banks. But if you donated to that fund, they could actually freeze your account too.
Oh, yeah.
See, that's the danger of what they're doing. This is communism 101. Remember last year when I was always having my show and I would be reading the book, The Communist Manifesto and all that stuff? Remember I said this is how you play it out?
Socialism and all that stuff.
I was in your house. I had the book when I was in your house. But they're actually showing you this is a test run. Now look at what Trudeau, now they released state of emergency, but you don't crack down and move everybody basically off the street, right? Broke up the convoy, blaming truckers. Okay. So the other day, Nancy Pelosi is having a conference and she says, is the Capitol secure for January? I mean, not January 6th. Well, it might be, they need to be January 6th, but she said, is the Capitol secure for the upcoming truckers convoy coming to Washington? Yes, we have security and the National Guard is being deployed. We're gonna deploy 700 National Guard members and we got the fence going up. Couldn't you have did this on January 6th if you weren't in charge of security? Interesting. But they keep on telling you it's a truckers protest against mandates. That's not what it is. They got 5 agendas they running.
Right.
One of them is mandates, high oil costs, cost of living, government overreach, and
immigration and vaccine.
Yeah, immigration. That's right. Yeah. That's what they had. So they got 5 causes. But the media is going to tell you that the truckers convoy is only about the mandates.
Right.
It's a lot bigger than that. That's all. It's a lot bigger than what you're saying. Right?
Right.
So, because when I was up there in Jersey, I tell you, the diesel fuel was $4.23 a gallon. I think that's what it's doing when I was up there in Jersey. So I know it's higher in other places. Probably close to $5, $6 someplace, probably. I want to go around every state in the country. So that's an interesting premise right there. So you got to understand, just because the media say that that's what it is, that's not exactly what it is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's all, I mean, we talk about Goebbels doing Nazi Germany. We talk about the Pravda in Russia, all those propaganda newspapers and other things. We use the same technique here. We're not much different. We're really not much different. If we talk about this cyber attack and how come people interfere with our government and our elections, we do the same thing. The exact same thing. I mean, how many times have we've gone into countries and gotten rid of leaders, murdered them because we didn't agree with their politics or their positions? And you talk about, well, you're doing this and you're supporting that, and the Russians are doing this and the Russians are doing that. As nobody has done as much in terms of espionage, in terms of killing folk, in terms of swaying elections, the United States has. We have swayed more elections than a little bit. So I mean, we're so, I don't know, we're such a, in terms of the government, we're so hypocritical. We stand for democracy. We want fair play. Everybody should have a voice. Nobody should be silenced. There should be no censorship. You should be free to speak your mind. And yet that's the same thing that's happening here in the United States as I speak. You got to code certain words, and you can't say the word itself. You have to say another word, the jab, and all of this type of thing. Come on, people.
Well, in California, they got a bill coming up called the COVID-19 censorship bill. Go figure, right?
Right.
And this is for fair use and reporting only. Fair Use Act of 1976. That's for the ones that want to exterminate me. They don't really like what I'm saying too much. You know what I'm saying? They think
Well,
They think I'm some nut. But hey, look, I'm really just like I told you when I was in your house. I'm just outside the box, brother. That's all. I'm just outside the box. But don't worry about me. I'm not trying to hurt you. Nothing. I'm just outside the box a little bit. I'm not.
well, I'm
No.
gonna say this about you, Bernard. I'll say this: you may think you're a nut, but a lot of things you said has come to fruition.
Now I said
So
people think I'm a nut. I ain't say me.
So
I said
you
people
are
think I'm a
nuts.
nut.
You're nuts in a good and accurate way, and maybe more of us should be nuts because a lot of things you said over these past few months and certainly these few years have come to fruition. I mean, it's not something that you just said and it's nonsense. It's come true. You can't have nonsense and then it ends up being true. So it may have been nonsense when you first spoke it to a lot of folk, but as time has gone on, your nonsense has been proven to be correct.
Hey, look. Well, let me put it this way. In a better context, it's more so like, hey, I had one guy said, "Who you think you some fortune teller?" I said, "No, I ain't a fortune teller.
You don't read
I don't read this information. I brought you the books to prove it. I poured them on my book bag, didn't I?"
Yes, you did. All kind of books you threw out. You threw on the table. If we had time, I would have went through some of them books.
Yeah, well, that's right. Taliban took over Afghanistan, yet the U.S. did nothing. China taking out. Let me read this comment. Joe, not about that life. So what's the problem with Russia taking over Ukraine? When it comes to New York is the nutcracker. Well, that's pretty good. But nevertheless, what I'm saying, this thing now, see, it don't fall on them. It falls on you. Like there's a guy was talking about, man, they're not doing enough to celebrate Black History Month. Well, who fault is that? That ain't their fault. I mean, blame yourself. Hey, look, I don't want them talking about it. They just telling you dumb stuff anyway. They talking about, oh, this guy created an invention. This guy created this. This guy created that.
But you know what, Bernard? But you know what I've noticed this year? It's really unusual. It's not unusual, but it is worth noting that the only Black history that we are celebrating at all is our contribution to music and entertainment. You notice that now they're going to have a big thing, I think, in the next couple of days, on the weekend, about celebrating again. But you keep in mind that things that used to be ours is no longer ours. What I mean by that? I mean BET is not owned by us anymore, thank you. Motown's not owned by us anymore, thank you. Ebony Magazine is not owned, and Essence Magazine is no longer owned by us, and there is no such thing as Jet Magazine anymore, thank you. So when the other group takes control of your thing, then they dictate what will be seen and what will be expressed. So yeah, we go back to the good old dancing, singing, and entertainment. What they stress about us, what they think about us. You don't hear about anything else this year in particular, but things that are geared toward entertainment and making everybody feel good. And that's been our role ever since.
You ain't talking about Malcolm X that much the other day. And that was a death anniversary. But you're right. But it is our job to talk about it if we want to talk about it. Now, me personally, I'm gonna be dead on with you. I'm just telling you, people take it to the bank. I don't really get into Black History Month because history is 365 days a year. It's not confined to no damn single month. So So don't really, to tell you the truth, I really don't need your Black history stories and novels and stuff like that, to be honest with you. Because I look at it as a bunch of negative propaganda. Well, it ain't negative. Well, I actually tell you the truth, when you're just doing music and stuff, it is negative propaganda. So I actually tell you when you're just doing the music.
I'm on Bernard's show.
Okay,
I'll call you back. I don't know why everybody. I apologize. Everybody's calling me tonight. Everybody's calling me tonight. Let me see something here.
Like
I don't
this,
know how I can stop that. I don't know how I stop that stuff. Now, nobody
Well,
calls me most time.
well, okay. Tonight, well, I don't know how there any black farmers. I don't know. There ain't none out here in Richmond, Virginia, but well, we got some. I'm just playing, but well, the
I'm
guys,
bad.
are there any black farmers anymore? Yeah, I mean, I said, yeah, we got them, but they're not gonna be talked about. That's the problem. Matter of fact, nobody talks about us any much anymore. Anyway, we get too far about it. And you know what? I get more with the mainstream media. They want to make it look like your issues are our issues. No, your issues are not our issues. We got different issues. That's when I talk about you get stuck in that box, four corners, square box, right?
Yep.
And then you'll say, okay, no need to. Well, another thing, let me say something about that you're right, Pioneer, about one thing. You shouldn't give labels too much anything. That's why they can call you conspiracy theory. They can call you this. You can call you that. When you label somebody, oh, you're a right-wing guy, they're actually saying that people who I was riding the other day and I saw a guy on his thing, he got "Let's Go Brandon" on his license plate or on his window or something like that. And they're saying people should be defined as right-wing people for disrespecting the president of the United States, as I call it, saying "Let's go Brandon." I said, well, if you want to say that's true, but then you also had signs that said "fuck Donald Trump." As a matter of fact, you made a song about it. So, as I told you earlier, in the words of Aretha Franklin from my good buddy Darren Muhammad always mentions it, who's zooming who here? Because I'm trying to find out it's good for one thing and not the other. So what's going on here? Right? But nobody likes to call that hypocrisy. I do, but nobody likes to. I mean, people in the chat do, you do, but
yeah. And let me say this. I agree with you entirely. Trump was the most demonized president we've ever had, the most disrespected president that we've ever had. And and certainly in my lifetime, and yet some presidents were popular, some weren't. But no one has been attacked as strongly and as vehemently as Trump. I mean, we laud some and we demonize others. And someone was saying, and I'm going to just say this tonight. Someone was saying that we lift up Obama, but what did Obama do for the black community? And even now, even with the Black history, they will always throw him into the mix, him and Michelle, as though they were the epitome.
They got to deal with Spotify too, by the way. They got to deal with Spotify. Matter of fact, Obama them got deals with Spotify, Netflix. Now let me say something about this thing. Let me say something about this thing. And this really goes for a lot of people. Black, brown, red, yellow, and white in this one. Especially. I got to use everything in there, right? Today, right? These elite people that's on the deal with Spotify, right?
Yeah.
And all this stuff, right?
Right.
Especially our community, right? These people define success by riches, fame.
Yeah.
I was in your house the other night. I told you, you can be rich in money, but if you poor in spirit and in the mind, you really don't got nothing.
That's true.
As a matter of fact, I forgot what rapper it was or whatever. I should know it. I know so much of it. But in other words, they say you just a nigga with money.
That's all.
Right?
That's all.
So your money can only go so far until you got to have some moral scruples. See,
that's true. That's true.
Obama and them, like I said, these people, they have no moral aptitude. But here's the thing, though. Wait a minute. They don't have no more aptitude. But I'm going to tell you this. They surely going to lecture you on having more aptitude, though.
They will. They're
going to lecture you on what you should do, right? And if you don't go along with me, you're the worst thing out here.
Oh, yeah. Obama loves
like I said,
Obama loves to scold us. Like he's our parent or something. Most of us are older than Obama. But he'll talk to us in a very condescending way. I remember the time he went to the black college and he talked to those kids like, they were, they graduated from college, and you acting like they're going to be on Skid Row as soon as they finish or something. You were very demeaning. Well, you gotta stick to this, and you gotta do that. You gotta come on, man, come on. Just like you have said in the past. I mean, you were blessed. You had a stepfather that was one of the most wealthiest men in the world. You were blessed. You went to Harvard University. You lived in Indonesia. You went to school in Hawaii. I mean, you did things no black person has ever done. You were blessed. Don't compare yourself to our experience. Don't compare yourself to us. Because though you may appear to look like us, you're not one of us. And,
check this out.
I'm not saying it just because just because your father was African and your mother was white. I'm saying this because you've never held us as priority. You never did anything.
You know where Obama grew up. You know when Obama was in Chicago, and I went to Chicago a couple of years ago, and they showed me where I think they rode me by where the community there where he was at or staying. They called I think it was called Hyde Park.
Okay, yeah, right.
Well, one thing about Hyde Park, you'll find out. You can look at it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Hyde Park is where a lot of Jewish people reside. So you might call
they do. That's what they
Jewish
are.
Chicago. So
they are. That's where they reside.
This is a black man around a lot of Jewish people now. So you got to know who funding who. Because I know one thing about Jewish people. They don't just let anybody just walk in their community.
Oh, no.
Unless they know that you down with it. As a matter of fact, you had a judge, I think, called Albert Victor or something in 2008. And he actually called Obama the first Jewish president. And as a matter of fact, Mr. Obama also told you, don't call me black because ain't got no standing by law. So he actually told you, I ain't one of you no way. The media called me that. You call me that. That's not what I say I am.
Oh, he made it clear. The only time Obama, in fact, the only time any of them, whether it's Obama, whether it's Kamala, or whoever, the only time they really want to identify with us is when they want something from us. And we're so gullible. We're so naive.
Joe Biden black too, you know. You know Joe Biden black. He was called honorary black man.
Yeah, and so was Bill Clinton because he played the saxophone on Arsenio Hall show. And because he played the saxophone, he won the brothers. And here's a man that put more blacks in jail than anybody else. But he's one of us. He's one of us. He's one of us. First black president, Bill Clinton. What? He threw your butt and your grandson's butt and your butt and everybody else's butt in jail. For a butt.
It's mighty funny that we're saying this because, as you know, a couple weeks ago, they were actually talking about what? What is it? Racial equity or something by syringes and safe smoking. You know, all this stuff they were talking about.
Yeah. The
wait a minute. Are we going back to the crack epidemic or the heroin epidemic or the fentanyl? And what are we going back to? You see, history is defined to reward all research. Ain't nothing but a rerun, really. I mean, and whether you would Biden, you can take it. You know what I saw on an article on ESPN today, man? They had a women's soccer team that were playing. They had on their wristband, protect trans kids. That's what they had on there. Now, I want to break something down to you. Me and Mr. Turner were talking about this the other day. Shout out to him, whatever state he's in, riding through, right? They broke down the LGBTQ's population last week. It says 7.4% of the population identifies as LGBTQ, right?
Right.
But watch this. They broke it down by percentage. 4% identifies as bisexual. I think 0.5 or 0.4 identifies as trans. Okay. I think 1% or something identifies as homosexual. And I think there's one other thing, lesbian or something like that. Whatever. I'll go back and look at it. I don't have it cheap, but whatever. Right. It was 7%. They broke it down, but bisexual was 4%. Homosexual was 1%. Trans was 0.4%, and the other one was probably like 1% of that, right?
Right.
That is such a non-starter. I wouldn't even waste the time to write an article like that. Because it basically show you they don't have them, but they ain't even on the spectrum almost.
Nope.
But they got the loudest voice in the room.
Why? And I'm gonna ask you something, Bernard. Why? With that in mind, why is it? Now keep this in mind. We're supposed to be at least 14% of the population, at least, and it varies by who you talk to, but that's pretty much what they say we are, about 14% of the population. You just said that the LGBT community, which spans everything, is about 7%. Now keep in mind, some of that 7% is some of us too. So keep that in mind. Native Americans make up 1.5% of the population. Asians make up 8% of the population. Latinos make up more than we do. Now, they make up about 17 to 20% of the population. Okay? But let's get them out of it right now. Because for the most part, the ones that this government has tried to really promote and protect are Native Americans, LGBT community, and also the Asian community. Now, it's interesting that you pass bills of anti-crime, you pass bill of this kind of bill and that kind of bill, give people billions of dollars for this tribe and that tribe. You have a black congressman along with his colleagues trying to make sure that the Catawba Indians are taken care of down in South Carolina, while the Gullah Geechees are suffering and are impoverished. Why is it that they're so interested in promoting minorities who are minorities to the largest minority, which is us, or certainly the second now largest? You're talking about we're 14%, Native Americans 1.5%. You just said the LGBT community is 7.5%. You have the Asians who are about 8.2%. And yet they get all of this, and we get nothing.
Well, let me say something right here. I want to bring something up because I just pulled them up because I wanted to get these numbers correct.
Right, go on.
But I'm reading, they got a lot of articles. Florida House approves bill limiting discussion on LGBTQ identity. Some LGBTQ Ukrainians say they fear human rights abuses if Russia stays. We will fight. Then you go, LGBTQ politicians activists defend on City Hall to protest New York Mayor Adams' hateful appointments. Still they live in fear. LGBT Americans hope push for Equality Act will finally end bias. Okay. Eric Adams is criticized for appointing officials with anti-gay past. Okay. New York man pleads guilty to mail-in threats to LGBTQ groups. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Florida says don't say gay bill would erase LGBTQ parents. I'm just reading this thing right there. Who's this? Prince of the Church, Catholicism is wrong on LGBTQ doctrine. Okay, now what I'm saying, they got all these articles on them, right?
Mm-hmm.
All of them is something about attacking them or them playing the victim. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
That's true.
I mean, damn. You mean why y'all gotta play the victim all the time?
But I'm gonna ask you again, why do you think that these communities, which make up collectively, they don't make up 14%? Collectively, if you add 8 plus 7, there's maybe 15 there, but then the other one is 1, so they barely make up. All three of those groups barely make up more than we. Barely. We're 14.5. They together is no more than 15 points. And yet everyone acquiesces. Everyone makes sure, meaning government now, is making sure that they're protected. You got all kind of bills out there that could benefit us. They're still on the table. They haven't even been presented to the full House or the full Senate yet. Some of these bills are as old as you are. John Conyers bill, HR 40, which is only the study of. See, all of this is camouflage stuff, shadows and mirrors. Why would you have to study something that you know what happened? You know all about slavery. We know all about Jim Crow. What are you studying? What's to study about it? Nobody studied the Chinese history in America before, long study process, passing a bill to study the Chinese effects and the problems that they have in their community. Nobody said we're going to study first the inequities of the LGBT community or all the other groups that are benefited. Nobody studied nothing. They saw a problem and they dealt with it. They don't see us as a problem because let me tell you something, Bernard, and I'm going to say this to your listening audience as well. We are here for a different reason than anybody else. Most people came here to get a better life, opportunity, advancement, freedom, all of that. They were called immigrants. We're not immigrants. We were brought here in chains to serve those who would become prosperous. Our efforts made them prosperous, and that's the only purpose of our being here. It was not to make us better or to improve our lives or to increase. Yeah, okay, but I'm sorry.
Let me bring something up here.
Go on.
You know what these LGBTQ Ukrainians fighting over?
What?
That Russia formally banned gay marriage in 2021, but they never had it anyway. That's what they fighting over.
That's probably another reason why they don't like them.
So
they don't.
Okay, so I just bring it up to you that it's Ukraine. So this is about more than this, but yeah, I just wanted to bring that. They saying they will fight.
Oh yeah, that's what they're saying.
Okay, so I'm just bringing up this thing, but I'm just showing you that they bringing up all this propaganda. Why are they bringing up the propaganda now? Guess what goes on in a couple of months? Pride Month.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, it is.
I got to bring it up.
Yeah,
I got to get you believing it. But I read an article last week, Bishop, that blew my mind. They said that 32% of African Americans identify as anti-Semitic. I said, wait a minute.
What?
Wait a minute. You let that hit you. They say 32% of us identify as anti-Semitic. Are you kidding me? I don't even hear black people even talk about Jews, man.
I don't. I never talk about them.
Not those fake ones anyway. But I'm just bringing this up there. Wait a minute. First of all, if you want to talk about anti-Semitic, then you got to tell me who the real Semites are. Let's talk about that. So you keep on talking this anti. They throw all this anti-Semitic stuff. Anti-Semitic. And this, that. But why you put a name on everything? I ain't never said them. On Jews, I talk about it, the 1%. I'm not talking about some Jewish guy running in a synagogue or something like that. Man, what you talking about, man? I'm talking about those 1%.
And it's not even about being Jewish. It's what people do. And if they happen to be Jewish, they happen to be Jewish. But it's not an attack on Jewish people. I don't know any blacks really that you would call anti-Semitic, meaning that we hate Jews or we against. That's what anti means. You're against Jews. I know whites have been against Jews because Klan was lynching them as they were lynching us. When Cheney was hung, so was Goldberg.
Okay, I found the article, Bishop. Here we go.
What?
Yeah. Okay. Now look, I'm gonna read this article, okay?
Mm-hmm.
The number of U.S. adults who identify as is rocketed to 7.1%, and young people again steering the increase. The poll released. The 7 is double the percentage of 2012. What year was 2012 when they introduced the bill?
Yep.
Right?
That was the year that Obama started his second term.
Yes, the small hats. That's right. They have stole our heritage. That's right. Okay, the upswing is significant. I think it speaks to society changing. in terms of assessing with people with different orientation, gender, and people's willingness to identify that way. And the trend is like it's not gonna be longer for LGQ populations is double digits in the U.S. population. You see the propaganda they writing, right?
Right.
I ain't with that. I don't believe that. All right. Okay. These youths are moving, meaning many people are entering the 18-year-old world this way. 21% of Generation Z, born 97-2003, identified as this. Along millennials, those born from 1981 to 1996, which would be me, identified the numbers dwindled in each older generation. Nearly 1 in 6 Gen Z adults also identify as bisexual. That number is not surprising. Again, reflects the dynamic of youth transitioning out, feeling more comfortable. Okay, America is changing. Okay, that's what I'm gonna go down and read some more. Increased visibility can bring backlash. There's been a lot of, in 2021, at least 100 bills were introduced to block trans youth participating in sports and at least 40 targeted youth gender affirming medical care. They talk about Kristi Noem, and they say we are not going back, and we will fight the best tool we have, our lives and our stories. Okay, what they're trying to tell you is they're gonna fight to keep what they got going on. They're telling you they're gonna fight. All right, anything you can't say about it, they do fight to keep what they got going on.
Yeah.
So, basically, it's telling you that they have a percentage of Gen Z. But if I told you the percentage already of it's only so many people identify as trans. I mean, look, when you see somebody that actually had transgender surgery, I can only tell you I probably only seen 2 or 3 of them that I know about.
Yeah, it's not big.
It ain't something I see every day.
No.
Matter of fact, I make it even argument for you.
Mm-hmm.
You might have a neighborhood, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't know who's that unless they tell you.
Right. You would know, or unless they act one. Unless they act.
So I'm just letting you know this is how you spread this propaganda on us.
Yeah.
So that's all I have to say about it. I'm not going to get off that, but I'm just letting you know you have to be able to read these articles and just get through the crits and the cracks. Okay, that's throw it out. That's propaganda. That's propaganda. All you gotta do is go by numbers and percentages.
Right.
I mean,
in your own experience. You don't see them like that. I mean, you know.
I'm not trying to either.
No.
But I'm just, that's why I told you a couple weeks ago. I didn't tell you last month I was in the doctor's office and they gave me a sheet. Male, female, non-binary, or I do not wish to identify.
Yeah, I saw that at my last doctor's appointment.
You saw that, right?
Yeah. It's on my sheet too. Doctor's office.
If I wanted to play a con game on the doctor, I could have said, I do not wish to identify. I came in there, what do you want me to call you? Can't you tell I'm a goddamn man? Like, we should not be playing this game. I mean, I'm just, bringing up. Well, Monique 2C, sorry, I got to pick on you, but if I see Monique 2C, she been on my show for, I can tell she a woman. I think I can anyway, maybe I know daggone it. Carbon copies ain't that damn good. Pretty woman at that. But I'm just saying, I can tell she's a woman. But
oh yeah.
So it is what it is. And I can tell you a man.
Oh yeah.
So it is what it is.
Identify as a man.
Yeah, well, that's right.
Not non-binary, binary. I don't worry about them pronouns. He, she, him, her, shim, sham.
I'm not going too far off topic with her, but I'm pretty sure I know what when I got my pants, I'm pretty sure she knows what she has in her. I'm just bringing this up. Not, just bringing it up. I know one of us can push out a baby and I know one of us can't. Right? So, I mean, that's why I like when I see these pictures of these men that they say claim having babies, I'm like, is this a stud or something? Like, come on, people.
Right.
But that's just life. I mean, you just figure it out along the way. But we have to stop being so accepting of this stuff. Like, no, look, dude, you cannot have a baby. Stop saying that. You are an insult, man. Some of them even tell you now.
Bernard, my thing is, what goes on in your home, what goes on in your bedroom, what goes on in your life is your business. And I have no right to interject myself into your business. But the same applies with me. I should not be exposed to, or forced to, or intimidated to do these things and to accept things maybe I don't agree with.
You're right. You're right. You're right, Darius. You're right, Darius. I don't play along with it. But what I'm saying is, if I wanted to play a game, I could have did that.
Oh, certainly.
I don't play along with it. I wrote down mail, but I'm just saying, if I wanted to play a game.
Right.
I would say, can't you tell I'm a damn man, what you crazy? But it goes to show you can push in a baby if you aren't pregnant. Well, look, man, I'm gonna be nice. Look, that's all I'm gonna say. She's a mother, and she has obviously some wonderful children that they have a mother like her. So I'm just gonna bring that up about her. So that's wonderful that at least she's at least she's got children to back up the claim. And, it is what it is. But hey, man, but nevertheless, it's all good. Now, with that being said, like I said, we have to keep our head on the swivel, Bishop, and we have to make sure that everybody's doing things right to do. I'm sorry that the gas price is going up. I'm sorry that things are happening, but hey, they always say, hey, it won't get worse before it gets better. But the only way to get better is through the people. It won't be through the politicians and the oligarchs. Not, if you rely on them, you're wasting your time.
Yep.
I would rely on them. Hey, look, you have a better chance of falling down the steps and breaking your leg and your leg healing in 2 to 3 months than you waiting on them to do anything by November.
They're not. Because like I always say, Bernard, this thing works for them. This all works for them. It don't work for us, but it works for them. So if it's something that works for me, why would I want to change it because it doesn't work for you? You have to have a heart. Just like you said a minute ago, they don't have a moral compass. They don't have a sense of empathy and sympathy. It's all about the Benjamins. It's what I can get out of this for my own aggrandizement. So this whole capitalistic, greedy, self-centered system that we live in, if racism works for them, they'll throw the race card at you in a second. Sexism works for them. All these isms work for them. And as long as it works for them, they're going to keep perpetuating it over and over again. We have to stop looking to people that have never meant us any good to finally change their minds about us. We've been around them for 500 years. When other groups weren't even in this country, we were here.
Let me bring up something to you.
They didn't do nothing then, and they ain't gonna do nothing now.
Let me say something to you about this great brother Thea West. I used to be on the show before they struck him down on YouTube, but he said, "Shame on you, Obama. It was under you that NATO attacked, bombed, and murdered tens of thousands in Libya. It was under you that Biden, using $5 billion American taxpayer dollars, sponsored the violent coup in Ukraine in 2014, which led to what we are seeing now in Ukraine." Shame, because Barack Obama released a tweet on what's going on in Russia.
Right.
But if you understand, they already did this back in 2014 in Ukraine. Remember?
Yep, I remember.
So,
I remember this.
And Barack Obama also used NATO to get rid of Gaddafi and other leaders they wanted gone.
Oh yes. Don't forget that.
So when you talk about Obama, I'm gonna be dead honest with you. Don't say you say what you want with Trump. Trump want to authoritarian. Barack Obama, Trudeau, those are authoritarian. They want you to go along with them on set of public opinion. And if you don't go along with me, I'm gonna drag you in the public square and make you look like the worst human alive. Just because I do not agree.
Obama was a creation. Obama was a creation of the oligarchs and the powers that be. He was a
and also a creation of who? The CIA.
That's of course.
That's
the man hadn't even been a senator by 4 years. That's all. 4 years. It wasn't like Biden, 47 years and 30-something years. 4 years. And he had a meteoric advance. Like a meteor.
Well,
Just gave that speech at the Democratic National Convention.
Hey, look, Bishop, we love a good speech. You know what?
Yeah.
We love a good speech.
Oh, yeah. I love to give them, too.
No, I say we love a good speech, right?
Yeah.
But the action behind the speech doesn't matter. You know, it's just like, we're just going to give you a good little speech, make you feel all good. And
But
blah,
why?
blah, blah.
But I'm going to ask you this question, but I want you to answer it. Why do we fall for it? No one else would fall for it. You better not come in there with a sombrero and expect to get the Latino vote. You better not come in with headdress and expect to get the Native American vote. You better not come in there on a pole and slide down on a pole and expect to get the LGBT community vote. They respect them. They don't respect us. Because we, first of all, we don't ask anything of them. Oh, somebody said something crazy.
Yeah, that's right, T West. Yeah, he's talking about the guy named T West. But in 2001, some black man who was homeless on television talk about ending restrictions so we can hurry up and get back to normal as if life was great for that food on normal conditions. T West was on the other day on Twitch. Ukraine got legit dodge his lame stream meaning want to make Putin look, but he's not at all. He's not all they make him out to be. Well, yeah, Putin actually just doesn't want them invading on his land. I mean, that's really what's going on there. And they've been trying to inflict a new world order on Russia. Breaking news: Ukraine president said 137 Ukraine soldiers have been killed, 316 injured since the fighting started. Okay. Well, let me say something. After I dissect those numbers and get back to you, that could be some tricknology there. But for some people, you want to trick black folks to smoke cigarettes, you make them like menthol and taste like mint. The food with candy. Oh man, y'all great tonight. But Bishop is right. Monique, you said Bishop is right. They don't respect us. But you know what? Bishop, I'm gonna have to add a little carrot on top of that. They don't respect us because, hey, look, I cannot respect you if you don't respect yourself.
And to be honest, I'm gonna attach another part to that. And why would they respect us? Because we not only don't we respect ourselves, but we allow them to disrespect us. I wouldn't vote for anybody that tells me that I'm not black if I don't vote for him. I wouldn't vote for anybody that would tell me that I would never even think about reparations for you or your kind unless you include the Native American. I wouldn't dare vote for somebody, and this was recent time. I ain't going back to ancient history. This was just 2 years ago. He said all these things. I wouldn't dare vote for somebody who scolds my leaders and tells them, you gotta do what I say. I know what I say and I mean what I say. And you better men 80 years old and you talking to an 80-year-old man like that.
Well, those same people now check this out. Those same people you talking about are actually messing around with talking about having meetings with Roddy Goodell, talking about the lack of black. I said, wait a minute, Al Sharpton, you talking about the lack of black coaches to go to the National Football League to a commissioner? Are you crazy? I'm like, how do you look? Guess what? Now, check this out now. Guess who they got is a civil rights attorney on the case? Loretta Lynch.
What? Oh, come on.
For the NFL? Are you kidding me?
You got to be kidding.
No, pull it up. Loretta Lynch.
I'm gonna pinch myself. I'm gonna pinch myself right now. I'm gonna see if you. Ow, man, that hurt.
Loretta Lynch.
Let's be telling the truth. That hurt, man. I thought it was dreaming. Man,
but hurt. I'm sitting there saying, wait a minute. You're supposed to be a United States civil rights attorney, and you talking about the NFL? Do you know how bad it's a downgrade for you, man, to be talking about something like this, man? You know how bad that is?
You know, that's what I'm saying. Why do we fight for things? Why do we fight for things like that? You know, I mean, I love football, I love sports and all that. But why? I mean, why do we always pick those battles to fight?
Why all right, look, Bishop, it's right here. It's right here on my phone. You might can't see it. First Black female attorney general in U.S. history to defend the NFL in racial discrimination lawsuit. This is who Brian Flores tapped to defend him in his lawsuit. Now, I'm going to be dead on with you. They might get a settlement. Loretta Lynch won't worth a damn when she was the attorney general.
That's right.
So, you know what, man? I thought about something, too. You know what? A lot of these Black appointees that Barack Obama appointed, they didn't do nothing for us anyway.
No.
They fought more for immigrants, the LGBTQ, and all that. So you understand something. And I want to show something. Civil rights is not about us. It's actually about homosexual. Because if you listen to the language, and the homosexual, the largest LGBTQ rights is called the Leadership Council of Civil and Human Rights. The Human Rights Organization is the largest gay
organization
in the country.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. She defended the NFL. Okay, I could be. Well, she is in that lawsuit, but I know Loretta Lynch got something to do with the NFL. So maybe I worded it wrong, but she is in this lawsuit.
Mm-hmm.
But we're gonna see what happens. But really, this is a downgrade for her to even be talking about some NFL stuff. You trying to think something? You talking about this? It's bad. But I do know that she's in on. They got Loretta Lynch in on it with something to do with the NFL. I do know that. So that is a downgrade for her. And it's a downgrade for Al Sharpton in the NAACP to be meeting with Roger Goodell talking about a football issue. This should be done by the players union. This don't need to be done by them. And then you even had Biden on the Super Bowl talking about that is a shame with the loud amount of Black head coaches in the NFL. I'm like, what are you talking about this, man? We shouldn't even be discussing this.
But you see how he's quick to talk about those type of things, but he's not quick about doing anything for us. I don't care about what they do in the NFL. I don't care. It's not.
Well, I gotta say something. You know, in California last week, they got a thing called. Now I know you got a cat. They got a thing called protecting dogs and cats civil rights. Now they're trying to say they're humans and they need to be protected. Blah blah blah. I know you got a cat, and I know people got dogs, but when you talk about passing a civil rights bill for dogs and cats, you're getting into that.
Bernard, let me say this. I'm reading this now. Loretta Lynch is actually going to go after Flores.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, isn't that weird? They pick a Black woman, former attorney general, to go against a quote unquote Black man in this lawsuit. So she's not defending him, she's defending them.
The NFL, yeah.
See how we are? We can be bought and sold. We used to being sold. But we can also be bought too. And I know she makes a pretty penny from the NFL. That woman's going to be set for life.
Isn't that something? I told you. Well, look, I might have worded it wrong, but I told you that Loretta Lynch was in this thing some way.
You're right.
Yeah,
right in the forefront, right in the forefront. I'm looking at a
yeah. I
picture now
can.
standing beside the president of the NFL, the commissioner of the NFL. She's standing right beside him. I've seen a picture of her right now. Talking about I will defend to the end. That's the
Well,
thing.
let me say something. Let me say something about that though.
That's something. That's something. I tell you, we are something. We are
I'm
some
gonna tell you
people.
something about that though. You know what's so funny about that though?
What's that?
Because the commissioner of the NFL actually was sitting there talking about we must stop racial discrimination in the NFL. But then you're gonna get Loretta Lynch to help you defend the case too. So that's a wag dog thing too.
Well, what did you just say a minute ago? It's all a bunch of hypocrites.
That's right.
Smoke and mirrors. That's all it is.
Hey, look. Then they say, okay, we're gonna hire a black head coach from the Texans. We give you one black head coach, but he was assistant on the team anyway. So we give you one. Hey, look, man. Like you tell your parent, Polly want a cracker. It's just funny, man. But then you got Mark Murray, the Urban League, and everybody talking about we need to get this, that, and the third. And I looked at it to myself and I said, you know what? The apple never falls too far from the tree. And a hypocrite. Hey, look, you can't get mad. You know, Bishop, you know the old saying, it is what it is.
Yep, it is what it is.
You can't get mad at a hypocrite for being what he or she is.
That's true.
Because they always gonna reveal themselves. But nevertheless, this weekend I will say that if people want to watch, they're gonna have probably they know they're gonna have Savior's Day Sunday, and I knew that it probably won't be broadcast on YouTube or whatever. I'm just putting it out there because they know they're probably gonna talk about the jab and things like that. But they're censoring all these people now. Anybody that talks about that, that's what I'm one of the main things I want to hear them talk about, and other things as well. Just bringing it up. We got CPAC going on this week. We got a lot of things going on. They be talking about a lot of things going on. So we got to get into the spring season.
Right.
Watch out for the gas springing up, and watch out for other things. Watch out for the truckers protests. If you coming in, you might be locked down, or you could be back stuck in major traffic. That's on you. I would just say that the State of the Union is coming up in March, which is actually usually in January. That's another thing that's kind of odd.
Yeah.
But I would just tell people be careful and watch what's going on today because things.
Yeah, Biden needs a little more time to rehearse his speech. Biden needs a little more time to rehearse his speech. That's all. That's poor man.
Well,
poor man.
But Bishop, I always say that it's always a pleasure to come on the show, and I'm gonna bring you back again soon in a couple weeks, and maybe we're gonna have. I think we're trying to do a panel with you, Judge Frank, and somebody else. And we're gonna talk about some manhood things.
Okay.
On Man Up Monday. So with that, I know you guys have, and like I said, I'm just glad I got to see you the other day on Tuesday. So
I'm glad you did.
I wanted to do a show tonight, but I didn't get back till 1:30. So right.
I know that's right. Yeah.
But that's okay. But nevertheless, we will do this again soon. And I just want you to give out any last words you got to give out.
Well, once again, I want to thank Bernard for thinking of that robbery to come stop by here on Tuesday. We had a wonderful time. Wasn't long, but it was valuable. We still talked about things. We met for the first time, and that was a pleasure for me, just to finally meet the man who I so admire and have known now for about a couple of years. We've known each other via the internet, but to see him face to face and to sit down and to talk and just to fellowship just for a little while really was a delight for me. And I look forward to the days yet ahead. This is just the start of something big. I would like to have a forum, and now that things opening up again, I would like us to have like a summit meeting of all of us, and really maybe get some strategy together, some agenda together that we can move and really build our community. Bernard is about health and wellness. He's about getting our bodies and our minds fit, as well as our spirit, because all of it works together. So because of that, I think he would be a good person to launch and to really instruct us, as well as we participate in that kind of forum that can come out with something that really will benefit our people. It's time that we stop depending on others to do what we can do ourselves, because the truth is they'll never do it for us, because they have no intention to make us any better than what we are right now. So thank you, Bernard, for once again for stopping by. Thank you for inviting me to be on the program tonight. We had to postpone our meeting on yesterday, our Real Talk with the G-Man, but we will be back on this Wednesday, March the 2nd at 6 p.m. Real Talk with the G-Man on Blog Talk Radio. Our call-in number is 515-602-9655. Keep us in your prayers, and we may have to change that number. I may have to get this on my own and start my own Blog Talk station, but just keep us in mind. My Facebook page is Gerald Scott. You can tune in there to find out exactly what to do and where we're going to be and how we're going to be it. I'm like Bernard. I mean, Bernard has to shift this and shift that in order to get the word out. But we're going to continue to keep on getting the word out. And we thank you for allowing us the opportunity tonight, Bernard.
Yeah, well, let me say this. Mm-hmm. Yeah, thanks for staying up later and getting back out of bed so I could come, because I actually had told you that I probably wouldn't make it, but I said I set my mind to it. I'm gonna go ahead and do it. I just gotta catch it, catch a sleep on the back end. I didn't really sleep that much yesterday, but I did get a lot more sleep. I got a lot more sleep last night. Sorry I had to miss Frank's program, but I just had to.
It was good. I was there, and Monique was there.
I just crashed out. But
this my sister conveyed to me, she wanted to be here to greet you as well, but because of things shifting like they are, she lives in New Jersey. She couldn't come up at that hour, but she's looking forward to you coming up again, and maybe we'll come to New Jersey this time where she is, and we can all get together and wine and dine and fellowship one with another again. Rhonda really was looking forward to actually meeting you as well. But there'll be another time. There'll be a next time.
Yeah. Look, how about next time I go set up and I come to Jersey?
Oh, that'd be good. That we'll go over there.
Yeah.
My wife and I can come over there and be with you there.
I come to Jersey, and then maybe I can even go see where her nice radio station is or whatever.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be nice.
But tell Rhonda to come to my program so I can interview her this time.
I'll let her know that. I'll let her know that.
Tell her. But you did tell her I came by though.
Yeah, I did. I told her.
Well, I thank you for doing that. And with that, like I said, I'm just glad that we finally got to meet. And like I said, if I never get back, I did get back that time. But you just go ahead and take your time.
God bless you.
Thank you, sir. Take your time.
God bless you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.